Elon is just a nice guy. He thanked us for helping Neuralink, and I thanked him for being a guy that my boys can look up to. I don't really feel anything since the wound healed. It is just a part of my skull now. The Neuralink BCI doesn't read my thoughts, just imagined movements. I just move the cursor on the screen, so I still have to type everything I say. So my best days have been working with the Neuralink team on useful things. I love the work helping future people with ALS. I don't want to bet against Elon, DJ, or the Neuralink team. I know that they are focused on scaling the process to reach more people, but I am really happy with my Neuralink.
First of all, this is my voice. I'm Tim Green, and I have ALS. But this podcast isn't about ALS. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I don't feel sorry for me. I'm a father of 5, married for over 35 years, a New York Times best-selling author, an NFL first-round pick, and a practicing attorney. This is Nothing Left Unsaid, where my son Troy and I sit down with extraordinary people for raw, honest conversations about life, its toughest trials, and greatest triumphs. My voice in today's episode is powered by 11 Labs. Brad, first I want to let you know that your video on X or Twitter, where you tell the world about your ALS diagnosis and the fact that you are the 3rd person ever to receive Neuralink, is amazing. It has reached 60 million people and has brought so many eyes to the disease. You and your family are so brave. I appreciate you sharing your story with the world and for joining us today.
It is my pleasure to speak with a fellow person with ALS using this technology.
The technology is truly incredible. For any of our listeners on audio only, I suggest checking out the YouTube channel where you can see Brad using Neuralink. Brad, when you first said yes to Neuralink, what was going through your mind? Was it fear, hope, something else?
I was so excited. I really wanted it, so I was waiting for the call. I have been really frustrated with eye gaze devices. They are moody and underpowered. And I have always been a power user with computers. I was really excited about the opportunity in technology. The surgical team is awesome, so I was not worried about the surgery. The Neuralink team is awesome, so I was not worried about the system. So, I have been excited from the beginning.
That's so cool.
Fantastic. What does it actually feel like to have Neuralink? Is it present in your awareness all the time, or do you forget it's there?
I don't really feel anything since the wound healed. It is just a part of my skull now. I forget about it until I get the battery low notification. It is basically subconscious to move the cursor around the screen, just like I used to before ALS. It is still not quite as good as a mouse, but we are still learning.
You FaceTimed with Elon the day before surgery. What did he say that stuck with you, and what did you tell him?
As you saw in the Ashley Vance video, Elon is just a nice guy. He thanked us for helping Neuralink, and I thanked him for being a guy that my boys can look up to. I also told him that I really want the robo-van because wheelchair vans are really bad.
You wrote that thoughts appear as words on a screen. How close is that to what you imagined communication could be like with ALS? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
The Neuralink BCI doesn't read my thoughts, just imagined movements. I just move the cursor on the screen, so I still have to type everything I say. I am really excited to use the computer with more control, and it is much better than eye gaze already, and we are just getting started.
It is still very early. Imagine how good it will be in a few years. Are there moments where it feels like Neuralink gives you a superpower?
I can't believe how precise it is in the movements. It's crazy.
It is fun when people realize that I am using my brain, not my eyes, to control the computer. I love using the computer in a different light, and it works in a moving vehicle. I just took a trip outside of Phoenix for the first time since early 2020. So, I don't think about superpowers. I am excited to do really basic stuff.
Yeah, I think that something that people don't even realize is the sunlight, how much that messes with the eye gaze.
Yes.
People always ask about the big things, but it really is about the basics. Hey, what would you tell Elon Musk if he asked you what to improve for the next person with Neuralink?
I don't have to tell Elon because I have direct contact with the amazing Neuralink team. Elon Musk hires awesome talent and empowers them to do great work. From DJ CEO at the top to the newest employee, I am deeply impressed by the entire Neuralink team. I have given them a lot of things to change and improve going forward. My biggest role is to find bugs and help develop the system to scale.
Do you ever think about identity, who you are, differently now that a chip is helping you speak?
I have been through enough stuff in my life that I have absolute confidence in who I am. First of all, I am a child of God who loves me. I have parents and siblings who are amazing and who love me. Tiffany is the best person I have ever known, and we are married for eternity. My kids love me and give me hugs. That is what really matters. I don't think a chip in my head makes any difference in how I see myself. Neuralink is just a tool.
I know my dad's happy about that, Brad. One of the reasons when I asked him initially to do the podcast, he said no. And then he had two conditions. One was to raise awareness about ALS and raise money and awareness for ALS. And the second was he wanted to be able to talk about his religion every episode.
Who officially owns the brain data that Link records? You, Neuralink, or someone else? How do you feel about that? Do you even care?
I don't really care who owns the data. It is probably owned by Neuralink during the trial. But it is not personal information. It is just movement data. If it were hacked, it would just take over my computer. And the MacBook Pro is filled with security features. So I am not worried about the data.
In 10 years, do you think a Neuralink port will be as routine as a pacemaker, or will it stay a moonshot reserved for edge cases like ours?
I don't want to bet against Elon, DJ, or the Neuralink team. I know that they are focused on scaling the process to reach more people. I think Neuralink will be much bigger, so I would buy stock if I could. I think there's potential for wider use cases, but I am really happy with my Neuralink.
I wouldn't bet against them either. Brad, you and I both know the daily fight ALS brings. What does your best day look like now?
I love being useful. So my best days have been working with the Neuralink team on useful things. I love the work helping future people with ALS. I need to get back to my work on the ALS Family Scholarship, which I created to help children and spouses of people with ALS to improve their careers with practical education. I love helping people and feeling useful.
You are more than just useful. Have you found that your capacity for joy or gratitude has changed since your diagnosis?
ALS really has made me more grateful for what I have. I have traveled to many developing countries around the world, and I have met many people with much less than I have. My prayers have been filled with gratitude to my Father in heaven for what I have. My wife has said that I smile more since I started with Neuralink. I am happy to be useful.
I tell people all the time that ALS has enhanced my gratitude too. You really start to appreciate the little things. Do you ever feel like your body has become a kind of battlefield for science, spirit, and survival?
I am pretty happy with that balance of science, spiritual, and staying alive. I depend on Tiffany to keep me alive, and she does an amazing job. I am content with my life.
People say that when the body slows, the mind often sharpens. Has that been true for you?
I think my perspective has become sharper. I am seeing things more clearly. ALS has helped me focus on what is important, like my family, and what is not important, like politics.
Everyone could use more of that clarity, that's for sure.
Yes.
You talk about navigating the narrow strait of faith. Has your walk of faith gotten narrower or deeper through this experience? Personally, ALS has brought me so much more faith. It has forced me to slow down and realize what life is all about.
This whole ALS experience has helped me deepen my faith. I have been a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for my entire life. I spent 2 years teaching people in Brazil more about Jesus Christ. But after my diagnosis with ALS, I had to examine why I believe what I do. The doctrine of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is really deep and amazingly cool. We believe in Jesus Christ as the only way to return to the Father, but we add so much more about his restored gospel. I called my book Navigate the Strait. because following Jesus Christ requires us to narrow down our lives to become more like him. The straight is a narrow passage with dangers on both sides. It started out as a compilation of what and why I believe, but I got a professional editor involved and published it on Amazon. It is my declaration of faith in the face of this stupid disease.
Writing is a great outlet. I'll have to check out your book. We'll put a link in the description for any of our listeners that want to check it out as well. Brad, did you ever wrestle with why this happened to you?
I read something early on that encouraged me to ask, what can I learn instead of why me? That has helped me process this. I believe that God knows me and loves me, so I'm coming to agree with him about his plan. I believe that I will be very happy in the end, so I just need to endure well for now.
That's a great motto. Is there a religious verse or prayer you return to often now?
In the opening chapters of the Book of Mormon, the prophet Nephi is shown Jesus Christ, hundreds of years before he would be born in Bethlehem. The angel asks Nephi if he understands what he is seeing. Nephi answers with what he does know. I know that God loveth his children. Nevertheless, I do not know the meaning of all things. 1 Nephi 11:17. This is my statement of faith. In the face of what I do not know yet, I rely on what I do know. I know that God loveth his children. Nevertheless, I do not know the meaning of all things. 1 Nephi 11:17.
Do you think Neuralink is part of God's plan or man's?
Yes, I believe it can be part of both God's and man's plan. I have certainly felt the hand of God in my process to get Neuralink. I moved to Arizona just before I was diagnosed, and I went to the ALS clinic in the same hospital that Neuralink would partner with years later. I call that more than a coincidence. I also believe that we all have our agency. People are free to choose how they spend their time and talents. I give great credit to Elon and DJ and the whole Neuralink team for their work on making this happen.
I agree with you. Is your wife still your closest teammate in this journey? How has your relationship changed since ALS?
Tiffany's late grandpa told us when we got married that you two don't even know what love is. Boy, was he right. I admire Tiffany more and more every day. She has dedicated her life to my comfort and our kids. She takes such great care of me. She is the reason I am alive and healthy. In the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we marry for all eternity. Not until death do we part. I am so excited for eternity with Tiffany. She is amazing and I love her more than ever.
Caregiving can be heroic, but it also can be brutal. What do you wish more people understood about caregivers?
ALS is horrible. It can take down the whole family. I have read heartbreaking essays from my scholarship about family and spouse giving up everything to this stupid disease. Before Neuralink, I was basically stuck inside my house. Tiffany was always within walking distance unless someone could babysit me. With Neuralink, we can get out of the house. We even went to Utah for her sister's wedding. That would have been impossible with eye gaze. Tiffany still carries the most burden, but we get to do more things together.
What's something you wish you could tell your wife, not with technology, but with your voice?
I really miss just holding her close to me. I think a good hug is worth a million words.
That's beautiful. When people visit your site or read your book, what do you really hope they take away?
I want people to know that happiness is possible in spite of ALS or anything else. President Russell M. Nelson, who is the living prophet of God on earth today, said that the joy we feel has little to do with the circumstances of our lives and everything to do with the focus of our lives. I'm trying to focus on what I can do to follow Jesus Christ rather than what I can't do. I used to worry about worldwide issues and politics. A very wise and spiritual man told me to focus on the one, the individual, one at a time. I tend to want to talk to the world. I like that my video went viral, but I'm trying to focus on individual people I can lift up, one at a time.
Do you think technology like Neuralink will one day be normal for people like us? Or is this a one-in-a-generation thing?
I think Neuralink is going to grow quickly. The iPhone was a one-in-a-generation thing also. I don't know if Neuralink is the next iPhone, but it has significantly improved my life. It will be normal for spinal cord injuries and ALS. I can predict that.
What does hope look like for you now? Not abstract hope, but real daily hope.
I keep going because I don't think this ALS experience will be a long time in the process of eternity. That eternal perspective is essential for me. So I'm focusing on my family and serving others. My kids make me happy every day.
Brad, not to put you on the hot seat, but would you recommend that I get Neuralink?
That is a personal decision, but I have had a great experience. I am really happy with the whole experience. I felt totally safe with the barosurgery team. I don't have any reservations.
I like to end every podcast by giving our guest an opportunity to brag about their family for a minute. Please brag away, my friend.
I am happy to brag about my family. Lincoln is our oldest, now 13. He is a dork, like his father. He loves robotics and tied for second place in Arizona. He is really smart and loves math. Edison is 10 and loves to play outside. He wants to try all the sports and do everything. I think he is really smart too. Abigail is 8 and has an extra chromosome. She has Down syndrome and is the light of our family. She is amazing and gives me the best cuddles. She wants to be a doctor, so we will have to find her a doctor-like job. Tiffany is the best person I have ever met. She doesn't like attention, so I will just say that.
Now on to our final word segment, where we ask our guests a few rapid-fire questions. What was the happiest moment in your life?
The day that Tiffany said yes to marry me for time and all eternity. I cried during the ceremony because I understood the significance of the covenant I was making with God and Tiffany.
What are you most excited about?
I'm excited for the future for my kids. We are on the cusp of AI, self-driving cars, and robotics. So I'm excited for my kids.
What is the biggest adversity you've faced?
Fear is the biggest thing I have conquered. Obviously, ALS is the biggest adverse factor in my life, but I really was hit hardest by the related fear.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
The great philosopher Dory the fish said the best advice: just keep swimming.
Excellent. Do you have any book recommendations for us or for the listeners?
Obviously, I am a big fan of my book, Navigate the Strait, which is what I think about what is really important. It is on Amazon. But I would really recommend Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. The new translation by Julie Rose is fantastic. The bishop's story before he meets Jean Valjean is essential reading for any Christian.
Dad, have you read that one?
Yeah.
You have? I thought I might have caught him. He's read everything, Brad. When I heard Jean de Jean, I thought maybe we had him.
The name of our podcast is Nothing Left Unsaid. Do you have anything you want to say?
I was a talker before ALS. I joked that the Lord gave me ALS to get me to shut up. I really enjoyed your questions, and I hope they touch someone in your audience.
I think it will. These were awesome. This is really cool to see. Thank you for letting us see how Neuralink works firsthand and talking with us. I hope we can stay in touch. But before we let you go, I want to ask you one other thing. We always ask people at the end of each podcast who are a couple people that they know personally that they think we should try to get on the podcast.
If you can get Elon to do it, that would be great. But he is really busy. Maybe the best person at Neuralink would be DJ CEO, who is really smart and a great guy.
We're going to have to use social media to peer pressure them into it, Brad.
Brad, thank you for truly making a difference. You and I both know how hard it is for us to have this conversation. Thank God that we have the technology for us to be able to even talk at all. We are so happy that we got to speak with you today and hope to stay in touch on your journey. Be well and God bless. Today's episode is brought to you by the ALS Investment Fund, a specialized biotech venture capital investment firm focused on neurodegenerative diseases, particularly ALS. They manage a large and diversified worldwide portfolio of ALS-related companies, collaborating with a global network of scientists, clinicians, foundations, and patient advocates to accelerate therapeutic development, investing for a world without ALS. Discover more about their mission and impact at alsinvestmentfund.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, consider supporting the podcast for free by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform, leaving a review, and sharing it with your friends. Your support means the world to us. This episode of Nothing Left Unsaid is brought to you by 11 Labs. Their groundbreaking technology makes a huge difference, and we're grateful for their support. To learn more, visit 11labs.io. A substantial portion of our sponsorship proceeds go to tackleals.com, funding cutting-edge ALS research. If you'd like to join the fight and contribute, visit tackleals.com. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on Nothing Left Unsaid.